All right, it's Father's Day tomorrow. And have you gotten your Father's Day fragrances yet? Are you a dad? Do you buy yourself fragrances? Do you wait for gifts? Fragrance gifts from your family, your wife perhaps? Or if you have a dad, what have you bought them? Because it is Father's Day tomorrow. When my dad was around, I was always gifting him fragrance. And he would always love them, wear them. And the following year, I would give him another bottle or two. And he'd always be happy. So if your father doesn't really enjoy fragrances, maybe you can slowly train him to start enjoying and embracing fragrances. I think it's a great way to kind of introduce him to scents, especially if you are a fan. I'm sure he'll smell your fragrance and things like that, and you can kind of get him on board. But if you do buy fragrances for your dads, have you bought your Father's Day gift yet? I have a great collection of masculine-leaning fragrances, perfect gifts for dad today. I've got 50 fragrances. There might be some bonus options here as well, and I'm going to go over them in this deep dive video format. So a lot of great fragrances. Some are unisex targeted, but they are masculine leaning. So they're going to be very manly or, of course, masculine fragrances. Not a lot of gourmands here, if at all. Just really great quality offerings, mostly niche, some designer. And these are the kind of fragrances I would give my dad if he was still around today, because I really love them, because I always gave him what I loved and he always loved what I gave him. Then the thing is, I learned fragrances from him, and so I learned to enjoy them. So that's kind of why once he got older and he wasn't really keeping up with fragrances, I was the guy that was always like, letting him know what was out there. So before I start with the fragrances, I just want to give you guys a heads up. We are almost out of tickets for ScentFest SF. So if you were wanting to participate, please go get your tickets right away. In fact, we might be closing 1 or 2 of the single days, and we will leave 3-day passes up. We've got 3-day passes for general admission and VIP, which gets you in 2 hours early. And there are VIP scent sessions happening as well. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please get them, because we're kind of getting close to capacity and the show is still a week away, a little less than a week start. So I'm excited where we're at with the show. I'm so happy. I hope you guys come. It'll be a great show, great inaugural show, and something that we'll do year after year. So please get your tickets. I have a link in the info box, and I hope to see you at ScentFest SF. If you want to find out about programming and everything, I did a video a few days ago. You can watch that video. It's a long, detailed video on everything that's going on at the show. Since that, though, we have added a few additional brands on the website, and you can go there and find out. All right, let's get started with the list. I'm going to the house of Amouage first. It's Beach Hut Man. I've become more and more into this fragrance. I just love the way it smells. It smells truly original. I don't see any fragrances like this out there. So I am just in love with it. And I just love the way it smells. It's the combination of ivy, it's mint, it's galbanum perhaps. So unique the way it smells. It's very, very addicting. Very aromatic, very spicy, a bit bitter, a bit green. There's a slight saltiness in there. Maybe that's coming from the ivy note, but super awesome. I just love the way this stuff smells. It's truly unique. It's a fougere kind of like fragrance because it's full of aromatic notes and spicy green notes. But I wouldn't say this is like your fougere fragrances that you're very familiar, because it does smell different, but very original smell, I think. I think it's definitely one of the most original offerings from any houses out there. And for Amouage doing a lot of Middle Eastern styled fragrances, because it is, after all, a Middle Eastern house, it's a breath of fresh air to find something truly unique like that, where the fragrances are not smelling very similar like they do. So that is Amouage's Beach Hut Man. Awesome scent. If you haven't tried it, please do. Makes a great Father's Day gift, because it's full of aromatics and spices and green notes. So it smells really unique. Let's move on to the house of Atelier d'Azur next. This is BLANC Polychrome. We are in the summer season, and I think this is a great scent. For me, this is a super duper floral citrus offering with some green bitterness thrown in. Very fresh, juicy, tart, and very floral. So it has a lot of citrus floral notes in there, and it's got some light spices, maybe some musky notes, woods, but it's a who's who of citruses, and I really love the juiciness of the citruses in this. To me, if you're a fan of a fragrance called Nectar by Commodity, that is not easy to get anymore. This is a great alternative. I don't think it's identical, but it kind of comes close to me. Also really love the color scheme of the bottle. It looks super elegant, and I love the gold flakes, you know, floating around in there with the gold cap that kind of matches the color of the gold flakes floating around in there. So really great scent though. If you like tart, juicy citruses with citrus floral notes and things like that, you got to try that one because it's super fantastic. So that is BLANC Polychrome from the house of Atelier des Ors. And yeah, check that out. I think it will make a great gift for a father. And it's super fresh, perfect for summertime. The next one is from the house of Atelier MATÉRIER. This is CEDRE FIGALIA. This is also a really super classy fig-focused fragrance. But this fig fragrance also has the note of spinach in it. If you like a fragrance like Philosopus, it reminds me of it. It hints at it. But I feel like this is elevated. It's a bit more modern. That spinach note comes in, gives it a greener twist. But you've got creamy woods in there. You've got that bitterness of the fig, maybe slight fruitiness, but not so much. It's mostly the green leaves and the tree and woods itself. But great, you know, alternative for something like Philosopus. Because for me, I've gotten bored of Philosopus. I never mention it anymore. It was one time a fragrance I wore quite a bit of. This reminds me of it. It's close, but not cigar, you know, no cigar. Plus it has an uber greenness with that spinach note. And so I like that about it. So that is CEDRE FIGALIA. Have you guys tried it yet? It's a great one from the house. I think that house is fairly underrated. Sadly, it's not super hyped. So check that brand out and check that fragrance out. But next we're going to the house of BDK. This is one of their new Absolute Parfum fragrances. This is Stellar Silk. So I featured this one. I think this is turning out to be my favorite of the new extracts, followed by the Oud. And this is a very intense, deep, darker take on woods with vanilla. There's definitely a creamy consistency there, but also a dry, almost like pencil shavings. And I feel like the vanilla is competing with the dry woods and creating this kind of explosion of the combination together. It's quite intense, very long lasting, and not gourmand, not super sweet. It's so intense. Like when you smell it, you can smell the thickness because it's a very thick fragrance. It's super dense because it's highly concentrated. So if you're a dad, or if you have a dad that likes a little sweetness, but a lot of woodsy notes, deep, dark kind of woods, that I think this would be something that they might like. So you have the creamy woods consistency. You also have pencil shavings kind of consistency. So it creates a creamy / dry kind of a texture, and super smooth on the vanilla note in there as well. So that is Stellar Silk from BDK. Check that out if you don't know it. I've got one more BDK here. This is Tabac Rose. And it's a very masculine take on rose with tobacco, a little chocolate. It's a Julien Rascanet creation. If you guys haven't heard, Julien will be at our show. He's coming in with Nichané. So this... Whoa, I'm throwing my strip. It's very ambery, and the tobacco is a bit smoky. So that rose that's in here kind of brightens it up because everything else is kind of going on the dark side. The dark side, that's a good name for a fragrance, right? That already exists by Francesca Bianchi. So yeah, this is quite spicy. The rose it's a very masculine take on rose. So if you're a guy and you don't like rose, I would recommend you try it. Meshed with the tobacco, the spices, the ambery touches. I think it's a great fusion here. So there's smoke here. There's the tobacco-ish smokiness, but super intense, I think. I mean, the previous one is an extract, so that one's even more intense, but this one's definitely on the intense side. But the chocolate sweetens it up. The rose brightens it up. This has also got Julien's signature all over it. You can tell this is a fragrance he's created because he does a lot of fragrances like this. It also kind of leans into a little bit of a Middle Eastern direction. So if you like those kind of fragrances, you would enjoy this one from Julien Rescanet. So yeah, Julien will be at our show. Come and see him, meet him. I think he'll be on a scent session panel as well. I think they're also going to do a talk where they have an installation for Nichane, and with their new rose theme fragrance, you're going to want to check it out. But if you don't know Tabac Rose, it's a great scent. Check it out. It's a great gift for dad. Maybe a dad that might be into the idea of rose, but doesn't want like full-on rose. That's something you can definitely start with for a dad. Let's go to the house of BOADICEA, the Victorious next. One of my favorite fragrances from the house, and also one that's not super duper expensive. It's Energizer. And once again, it's also, summer here. This is perfect for summer. It's a great bitter, zingy take on grapefruit. For me, I just love, it's almost like you got the juiciness of the grapefruit, but you have the oils of the skin mixed in here. I mean, I love, juicing citruses. I don't consume them much anymore, but I remember the oils get on my hands, and the smell of the oils of the grapefruit are really prominent in the actual fragrance. So it's got the juiciness, the bitterness of the grapefruit juice, plus you've got the oils here, so it comes off super realistic. And if you like this kind of an experience, if you like fragrances like, like a Tigar, but you don't want to smell like Tigar. By the way, I didn't put Tigar on the list, by the way. This is the fragrance you would go. It's an alternative to Tigar that doesn't smell like Tigar or any fragrances that are kind of inspired by that fragrance, because a totally different take on grapefruit, but super juicy, very bitter, and also the kind of oily texture and the smell of the grapefruit is captured perfectly here in this fragrance. I love that. It's so realistic, perfect for the heat waves, I should say. Wear that and you'll smell awesome. Energizer, it is energizing for sure. When you put your nose to it, it's very invigorating. It wakes up your senses. Citruses generally do. So also, if it's winter, it's dark, it's gloomy, it's cold, smell that. It totally wakes up your senses. So next we're going to the house of CARON. This is Amouage comme je suis. I actually really love, I'm falling in love with this fragrance all over again. I actually talked about it in a video recently, and I smelled it on camera, and I'm like, wow, it's got hazelnuts as a note, and the hazelnuts are kind of acting like the hazelnuts I smell, or in this case, taste, in Nutella. So subconsciously, it creates this kind of a creamy, chocolatey effect. Even though I'm not smelling chocolate, I'm getting the chocolate texture here. But it's a lot of dry, grassy woods of the vetiver. There's some citruses in here, and the hazelnuts nuttiness is so awesome against the vetiver. I almost said grapefruit because there's also grapefruit in this, and we were just talking about Energizer, which is a grapefruit fragrance. And the combination is super awesome. Really, really great. And the price on this is also super deal. I think you can get a 120 or 125 ml bottle for around $40, $50. So it's a great price if you're looking for something inexpensive but classy from a historic house called CARON. Definitely check this out. Really, really awesome. The hazelnuts really wonderfully work with the vetiver in this. Really does. Anyway, that is CARON, and it's a Amouage or Amouage comme je suis. I'm not the best in French, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed. Next, we're going to the house of Clive Christian, a perfect fragrance to gift the dad. I mean, a perfect fragrance brand to gift the dad. We're going to L Red Tea Vetiver next. Who's a fan of this house? There are very intense fragrances. They're perfume, concentration, or parfum. So it's also here, I've mentioned before, I used to drink red tea or rooibos tea. This has got that rooibos tea experience here very naturalistically with the vetiver. Now, I just spoke about a vetiver with the CARON. The vetivers do not smell alike. This has that kind of smoothness of the red tea or the rooibos tea with the grassy earthiness of the vetiver with all its woody characteristics. So it's aromatic, it's spicy, it's woody, it's a bit sweet, but not super sweet. I wouldn't say this is a sweet fragrance. I think the sweetness only comes from the red tea. There's a little bit of citruses in here, maybe some light woods under in the base and some ambery notes, but very classy, very gentlemanly fragrance from the house of Clive Christian. It's L Red Tea Vetiver. Let me know if you're familiar with that one. So this is also Clive Christian. It's Town and Country. Boy, this is so good. Super sexy also. If you're trying to buy a fragrance for your husband and you want something sexy, definitely try Town and Country. Last winter, I was in New York City I was in New York City in November, and I visited Bergdorf Goodman's, and there was a Clive Christian counter, and I started speaking to the lady there. And I was speaking to her, and she said this is the most popular, the biggest seller for the house, Town and Country. So it's very woody, spicy. It's also amber woody. If you like fragrances like vanilla powder without the vanilla in it, you're probably going to appreciate something like this. It's a very amber woods forward. But there's spices along the way. There's some citruses along the way, but it's super potent, very long-lasting, intense fragrance, and I love the way it smells. It's not for the folks that don't like amber woods, because this is like an amber woods bomb, but also very musky, super awesome. I love that fragrance. Really, really lovely. Between the two Clive Christians, I do prefer Town and Country, but I definitely enjoy L Red Tea Vetiver. So we're switching gears and going to the house of DS and Durga next. And I'm going to talk about this fragrance. I think it's a great, classy, gentlemanly offering, kind of barbershop fougere leaning. This is Coriander. It's a spice that doesn't get talked too much about. I recently did a video on coriander. If you're a fan of coriander as a note, go check it out. It was just basically a video of 5 fragrances featuring coriander, pulled from my vintage perfume notes video. But what I like about coriander, it's a spice. It's the seeds that we're talking about, not the actual leafy part, the part that doesn't smell really great. The seeds of the coriander or the cilantro is what's super fragrant. It's aromatic, it's spicy, slightly floral, and a great, great scent. This is also very woody. It's also it's a spice. You've got spices, some light citruses in there. Makes for a very gentlemanly fragrance. I just wish coriander would come back as a note and used more frequently. I remember in the 80s, like in the late 80s, jazz from the house of YSL had a lot of coriander, and I really like that spice. This fragrance is not like that, but it's nice to see coriander in, highlighted in a fragrance and in a very dominant way. So that's Coriander from the house of DS and Durga. Check that out if you don't know it. So let's move on to the house of ELECTIMUSS London next. This is TRAJAN or TRAJAN. So this does have that Baccarat Rouge vibe, but a lot of citruses. So it's a combo of all that amber molecules or amber woods molecules with very zesty, juicy citruses. You got a lot of blood orange in here, so it's kind of sweet and tart. So it's very fresh. It dries down to like a little bit of taking Baccarat Rouge and marrying it with like a big bouquet of citruses that are juiced together. So it's super juicy. It's sweet tart, more on the tart side. It's lots of musk, woods, and spices. It's good. It's good. But you'll be reminded of Baccarat Rouge. It's just not having all of the notes from the fragrance Baccarat Rouge in here. But I love that. The combination is great. And I love how realistic the citruses smell in this. The juiciness of the citrus is what I like. I love citruses, and I don't consider them to be, like the ultimate in fragrances, but I think citruses are quite important for fragrances, especially bergamot. But I think this might not have bergamot, but I remember it's very juicy, zesty, and so it's like a lot of blood orange. It's funny, when I go to my mom's house in January, she's got blood orange tree, and it's always like lots of fruits, and I kind of like them to be a little sweet, but they're on the tart side, and I'm like always tempted to eat them. So I'll break into one and slice them up and take 1 or 2 slices, and then I'm kind of done. It's like too much tartness for me. but I love blood oranges. So let's move on to eccentric molecules next. Oh, it looks like I forgot to, oh no, I did pull it. Here is Electimus, we already had Electimus London. This is eccentric molecules, molecule 1. One of my all-time favorite fragrances for a very minimalistic experience. This is so cool. If you don't know this fragrance, you haven't been much in the fragrance community or fragrance world yet. This is like the ultimate in minimalistic fragrances. Huge cult following, celebrating 10 years, is basically one synthetic molecule called ISOE Super. And it's a cedar smelling molecule with a slight hint of sandalwood's creaminess. So it's musky, it's woody, it's creamy. And on me, it smells great. But if you're new and you haven't smelled this, and you buy a decant or a sample, or you buy a bottle and you're like, I can't smell anything. I'm not sure why you guys would talk me into buying alcohol. No, it's not alcohol, guys. When I first got this, I got the same thing. It took me a long time to actually finally smell this. 7 tries, maybe? 7 wears? And this was like back in 2012, 2013, when I was first starting. And this is like, again, one of the best fragrances. I know people that wear this and the smell projects off of them. It smells so good. Really, it's a minimalistic fragrance. It's a skin scent, but off of you, it projects. And you yourself wearing it might not smell it, but the other person will smell it and it'll be like, wow, what are you wearing? It's so good. It's so popular. I mean, I turned so many people onto this. I have friends that are not into fragrances, and I talk about it, and like they're so curious to see what this one's all about. Minimalistic. I just recently turned it on to a woman who doesn't like fragrance, and she came to the studio. She was looking all around. I couldn't figure it out. She kept saying Guerlain, but every Guerlain that I showed her, nope. I'm like, well, why did you say Guerlain? Because I just showed you a bunch of Guerlain. You're like saying no. And then I thought, okay, let me pull Eccentric Molecules, Molecule 1. And that's so good. How can I get a bottle? So she bought a 100 ml bottle. Now she's talked her friend into liking it. They're asking me where they can buy it because I ordered it for her. So yeah, it's that kind of a fragrance. It's very addicting. It's very minimalistic. It does have projection when your body warms up, heats up. It will project. It's not super beast mode though, but you will smell it. But Eccentric Molecules is one of the best fragrances. It's also a great layering tool, priming tool, boosting tool. It's an awesome scent. I absolutely love it. I would not have a collection of fragrances without having Eccentric Molecules, Molecule 1. The cool thing is also they have launched all the flankers. I haven't been keeping up, but they're cranking them out. And they just recently released Cologne 1, I think. Is that what it's called? I got to dig into it. I've been so busy with ScentFest. I haven't really dug into a lot of fragrances, but I got to circle back to all the launches that I missed from Eccentric Molecules and pick them up. And once I pick those up, I'm going to do a whole long form video on the entire house of Eccentric Molecules very soon. Stay tuned. That's coming after the show is over, and I'll be relaxed a little bit because it is pretty intense nowadays, guys. Intense. Again, we're almost sold out with the show, so I'm so excited. You guys, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please come and enjoy the ScentFest SF. Okay, let's move on to Essential Parfums. This is Patchouli Mania. I decided to go with patchouli. I don't have a lot of patchouli-focused fragrances on here, and I wanted to feature this. I've actually recently fallen really in love with it. This is also a fragrance that features hazelnuts. And I kind of like the hazelnuts nuttiness in this. This is also giving me the effect of Nutella, because patchouli has that cakiness, the chocolate cakiness. So the fact that it has the Nutella, the fact that it has the hazelnuts, and it kind of acts a little bit like Nutella, but with a patchouli dominance, you know? It's super awesome. Really great scent, created by Fabrice Pellegrin for Essential Parfum. Apparently it's 17% concentration, so it's an eau de parfum. It's not super strong, but I really love it. It's a nutty and slightly chocolatey creamy, smooth take on patchouli. And it smells fantastic. Really, really love it. I love that fragrance. I love patchouli. You guys don't know that. You probably haven't watched this channel before, but the patchouli is so good here. So check that out. That is Essential Parfums Patchouli Mania. Let's now move on to Ex Nihilo's Blue Talisman. Yeah, this has become the #1 fragrance for this house. Go figure. What caused it? Who clicks with this fragrance and who doesn't? Let me know. Add a comment below. I didn't click with it for a while. I thought, what the heck? This is just a freshie. But smelling it off of people and smelling it in the air got me addicted. I don't know if it's the molecules they use over at Givaudan, but there's something about the molecules they use. I absolutely love the way it smells. It's kind of musky and kind of like it pulls you in, you know? It like makes you whiff, makes you want to smell. And I think that's kind of what got me to enjoy this. So it's a freshie. It's a bit fruity. It's a bit aromatic, a little spicy, also a little fluffy. There's a fluffiness about it. It's not super strong. It's not intense. But whatever is in the base, the DNA of the fragrance, I absolutely love. But I had dismissed it for a while. Really did. But this is super awesome. Really great. My complaint about this brand, it's always overpriced and they're not the best performers. So that's why they're constantly releasing extrait de parfum fragrances. So I haven't really experienced the extrait of this one, but the original I just love. I really, really love it. I just wish the way this smells, it was just more intense. But I don't want a different fragrance. I wanted this to I want this smell, but much more concentrated. So I don't know if the extrait de parfum of this is like that, but I can only wish. But this would be a great gift for a father or a dad. That is Blue Talisman from the house of Ex Nihilo. All right, next we're going to the house of Frederic Malle. Miss You. So this is, supposedly it was the answer to the male equivalent to Portrait of a Lady. I think they're completely different fragrances. It's a patchouli-focused fragrance. It's kind of greasy and tar-like and dirty and smoky and boozy, all with the patchouli. So you won't get chocolate here. I almost feel like there's what's the birch tar in here, because it's just kind of burned, charred, smoky, and also kind of greasy, oily. So they've actually made the patchouli super dirty here. You can smell the patchouli. Like, I can pick up some hints of the patchouli that I really love in Patchouli Mania, but it's smeared over a lot with that greasiness, the smokiness, the charred presence, the booziness. So it hides the patchouli, but you can pick it up here and there. But very masculine offering. I think it's a great scent for a dad. It opens up as it's drying down. It's not going to stay super dark and smoky. It sweetens up on skin, but I think it's a great fragrance for a dad. And a perfect name for a dad's fragrance. All right, next we're going to the house of Goldfield and Banks. It is Bohemian Lime. This is a perfect fragrance for summer, and I absolutely love the way this smells. Does this have coriander? I think it's ginger. It's finger lime. This reminds me of the smell of, maybe it is coriander. What I always say about this fragrance, it reminds me of a Moscow Mule, the cocktail. The way it smells, it's a bit gingery. There's a zesty zinginess. If you've ever had a Moscow Mule, you'll understand. But super fresh. It's got the finger lime note. It's a very unique take on lime as a note. But perfect for summer. It smells great. Really does. It's a very refreshing, invigorating, zingy, zesty fragrance. Bohemian Lime. And then I've got a feature Goldfield and Bank's Ingenious Ginger. This does remind me of fragrances like Tigar, but there's something unique about this one. It's almost like Tigar cream gone slightly dirty, but I just love it. I'm a big fan of Tigar. It's a great scent. I know there's complaints about the performance. I did not care for the X-Ray. The X-Ray was super expensive. Plus, it's a totally different fragrance. Here, though, it's Tigar-like, not truly identical, but beneath that, there's a little reminder of like a creaminess, almost like creamy granita. And then there's a slight dirtiness as well. It's almost like slightly greasy. But it's a super sexy scent. Really, really sexy. If you're looking for an alternative for Tigar, check that out. Again, some people might not pick up any similarity to Tigar because they're acting different. For me, Tigar is dry and musky. This has that creamy effect. And so it's a bit different. But a great scent for sure. So that's Ingenious Ginger from the House of Goldfield and Banks. All right, we're going to the House of Guerlain next. We've got two from the House of Guerlain, and I'm talking about the Parfum editions of Guerlain fragrances. This is Habit Rouge Parfum. Yeah, we're in summer, but I'm talking about a fragrance that you would gift your dad, and he's going to wear it all year round, not just the summertime. And my dad wore fragrances without thinking about seasons. I mean, when we wore fragrances in the 80s and 90s, I don't know, people didn't think about seasons. You just wore which fragrances were popular at the time. Whether it's like Beast Mode, super intense powerhouse from the 80s, or like Freshy from like Cool Water, you'd still wear it. I mean, I did, and everybody I knew did. So this is also super intense. It's a Guerlain's Habit Rouge Parfum, but maybe dad wears 1 or 2 sprays in the summertime and increases it to 5 or 6 in the wintertime. But it's taking the original and making it a bit more modern, a bit more boozy, a bit more vanillic, and also earthy. You have the traces of the original DNA in here, but it's amped up and modernized for sure. It's a great scent. Love this fragrance. Really love it. I mean, the original is a masterpiece, I think. A men's fragrance masterpiece. But they've done such a great job with the Parfum edition. I absolutely love it. And of course, I can't forget Vetiver also. Vetiver is a classic. Very classy, gentlemanly fragrance from the House of Guerlain. And I'm glad they did the Parfum of this as well. Although, I wish they were doing it of L'Instant de Guerlain pour Homme Parfum and Heritage Parfum. Those fragrances are amazing. They haven't done it. I don't know if they will ever do it. I'm only hoping and praying and wishing. But I'm happy they did Guerlain's Vetiver. It's very aromatic, spicy, woody, green. Very classy and gentlemanly. There's a little bit of a licorice touch. I think basically there was a fragrance called, I think it was called Vetiver Extreme. It was a flanker that got discontinued. And I think basically they gave it a little bit of the effect of the Vetiver Extreme with this one. That's what I love about it. It's so good. I mean, my preference between the two is Habit Rouge. I would have preferred Heritage or L'Instant de Guerlain pour Homme as a parfum, but I'll take Vetiver because the original Vetiver is great, but this is much deeper and stronger and robust. So anyway, that is Guerlain's Vetiver, and previous to that we had Guerlain's Habit Rouge in the Parfum concentrations. Now we're going to the House of Headspace. This is Geneviève. So it's basically standing for juniper. Oh man, this is good. Really great, classy, gentlemanly, aromatic, spicy fragrance with smooth, clean, gin-like qualities. Oh wow, I love it. I mean, I'm a various, I'm a very curious person when it comes to plants and nature. And if I see like a plant that has some berries, I'm always checking to see what they are. And I love picking the juniper berries off of their trees and smelling them and studying them. And there's a smokiness about them, you know, there is. And the leaves themselves from the tree. And they've captured that here so awesomely. So you've got a little spice, you've got a smoke, but it's also kind of ice cold. They use the juniper a lot in fragrances to give it the ice cold treatment. And that's what I like about juniper. If you want a fragrance that smells like gin, I think they use juniper quite a bit. I think they might also use something like maybe a little bit of violet leaves, but mostly juniper. It's so good. This is really great. I just wish it was a little more intense, but spray a bit more. But it smells fantastic. Very classy, very gentlemanly, very fresh, robust. Great smell. So that's Headspace's Genevieve. That is the last. Nope, we got one more from the. No, two more. No, three more, four more. Next, we're going to the house of Terre de Hermes. No, we're going to the house of Hermes with Terre de Hermes in the Parfum concentration. One of the all-time classy, gentlemanly offerings created by Jean-Claude Helena. This is the Parfum edition, so it's concentrated. It's not as light as the EDT. You have a deepness here, but it's lots of woods. It's citruses. I think you have the combination of oranges and grapefruit in here. You've got vetiver, but this to me smells not as dry as the original. It has a creamy texture, so it's super smooth. Love it. I think it's definitely one of the best fragrances ever created. Jean-Claude Helena did some amazing work at Hermes. I wonder if he was forced out or did he quit on his own? Anyway, Terre de Hermes, a masterpiece. That is the Parfum edition. Where is the... I can't see the text. Wow, it's not focusing on the text. There it is. All right, so next we're going to the house of... Who be gone? This is Fougère Royale. Yeah, this is going to be on here. But guys, if I didn't tell you this already, we have the Osmotek at Scentfest SF. And you'll be able to smell the original formulation of Fougère Royale, which launched in 1800s, 1884, I believe. So if you've ever wanted to know what it smelled like before it was completely redone in 2010, you're going to want to come to Scentfest SF because the Osmotek exhibition is going to be the price of the ticket all by itself. So you get through and smell 25 original formulations of fragrances. That is totally awesome. But to me, Houbigan's Fougère Royale is awesome. I don't think they have very, well, similarities. I've smelled the original a couple times through the Osmotek. I think the ideas are the same, but I feel like the original is a lot dirtier. You know, nowadays they have all this like technology where they can strip away all the dirtiness of any kind of ingredients and create a smoother, kind of cleaner. So at the time in the 1800s, in the late 1800s, I don't think they had those technologies to do things like that. So you'll be able to smell it. But this to me, very aromatic and spicy, green leaning, citruses, but a very classy, gentlemanly fragrance. And I'll start mentioning because some of you guys ask me, how does it compare to the Parfum edition? I have both. I don't think you need the Parfum edition. They're exactly the same thing, just a little more concentrated. So you're paying about $200 for this, and the Parfum is like 3 times the price, I think. So I don't think it's worth it. Stick with the original. The original is awesome, and I'm glad they redid it in 2010, and we're enjoying it today. All right, so that is Houbigan's Fougère Royale. We've got a couple of fragrances here from Hugo Boss. We are first going to talk about Boss Bottled Absolute. Yes, They did such a great job with this, Anique Minardo and, oh boy, I'm forgetting her name. Hold on. It'll come to me. So, she's both perfumers, Anique Minardo and, God, what is her name? It'll come to me. Anyway, they did such a great job on this fragrance. And then all of a sudden, the fragrances went to another perfume house. And so Simrise to Firmenich, and I don't think they did a good job with the new versions. I don't know why they did that. But for me, the Elixir and also the Absolute are really great. For me, I prefer the Absolute more. And it's a patchouli take on a very deep, kind of earthy, woody, smoky fragrance. Very sexy for a designer. Also long-lasting. I absolutely adore this fragrance. It's one of the best men's designer fragrances in a long time. It sweetens up. I think there's like cardamom-y spices. It's good. Super good. I adore that fragrance. It's a great men's designer. It's also very gentlemanly, very classy. And I know I talked about this fragrance recently in a video, and I believe they sold out. It was $70. I highly recommend you find this fragrance. It is the fragrance of summer. For me, this is Hugo Boss's Vigorous Cologne. I love it. It's like taking a men's cologne like Eau Sauvage, Paul Monsieur, things like that, stripping it down, building it back up, but modernizing it. I like that creamy mossy note in here. I like the juicy citruses. There's zingy spices here. Earthy notes. It's just really nicely done. Again, it's a cologne. It's called Vigorous Cologne. So it's not going to be like beast mode. Wear it in the hot days. Wear it outside. Energizing. Cooling. It's a great scent. I adore this one. That's why I bought a backup bottle, because I'll go through it pretty fast. I'll be going to LA after the show, and I'm going to take this bottle with me because it's going to be much hotter down there. By the way, guys, if you're coming to Scentfest SF and you don't live here, it'll be in the 60s here. So it'll be nice and cool. And it's also going to be very breezy. So bring layers because you're going to need it. All right. So if you don't know, or if you haven't gotten yourself a bottle of Vigorous Cologne yet, please do. I highly recommend it. And I agree, it's the summer fragrance of 2026. Anyway, let's move on to Jacques Fatt next. This is Vetiver Gris. This is Vetiver Gris from Jacques Fatt, and it's another hazelnutty take on vetiver. Jacques Fatt just recently launched a fougere fragrance. I can't wait to get my nose on it. So this is vetiver in its most peppery form. Even though it has the hazelnuts in it, the vetiver in here comes off peppery, or they have pepper spices in here as well. But it's very fresh, slightly dark, a little bit smoky because of the pepper, and vetiver kind of gets peppery as well. And I feel like it's covering up the nuttiness. I get much more nuttiness from the Amouage Comme Je Suis from the House of Caron. But they're all different fragrances. I feel like the Caron kind of goes into a gourmand territory, even though I don't consider it gourmand. It's just the nuttiness that does that. Here, it's more spices, very spicy, woody, grassy, earthy fragrance. So totally different, even though they're vetiver, it's vetiver and it's hazelnuts. So that is Vetiver Gris, Grey Vetiver. Wow. Grey Vetiver, that's Tom Ford. Anyway, that's not Tom Ford, it's Jacques Fatt. All right, that's Vetiver Gris from Jacques Fatt. Let's go to this fragrance, Incident Diplomatique. I just spoke about this one with a collab I did. If you haven't watched my video, please go with the niche fragrance collector. It's Marcello, I should say. We did a collaboration on 2 Jovoy fragrances. And so he did Fire at Will. I did Incident Diplomatique. Although I had already reviewed Incident Diplomatique, this time we did a collaboration. If you haven't watched it, please go catch it. This is one of the best patchouli and vetiver combo fragrances. I think the combo is awesome. And the thing is, to me, this also comes comes off a little nutty. I don't know where I'm getting the nuttiness, but I do get some nuttiness in this. And I think vetiver has these kind of sides to it. I think that's what they're doing. They're bringing out nuttiness from the vetiver note. They also bring out grapefruit from it. So this automatically has some nuttiness. In fact, it's such a smooth combo of the patchouli and the vetiver. You should definitely go catch the video on what we said about this. There's 2 Jovoy fragrances that I feel like this is combining to make this. So go catch that video, watch the our thoughts, and we also do a ranking on our top 5 Jovoy fragrances in that video. So you don't want to miss that. But this is a masterpiece. I think this is one of Jovoy's best fragrances. I have great longevity with it. I wouldn't call it super beast mode. I think it's got great longevity. It also has great trail sillage. So I always, people ask me what I'm wearing. I don't wear it in the cold. I wear it more in the heat because it's the kind of fragrance it is. In fact, in the summer when it's warmer, it kind of projects off of me more. And, it smells like it's lingering on longer and longer. But next to private label or psychedelic, I don't think it's as beast mode, but I wouldn't say it's a wimp either. It's a great scent. Anyway, that is Incident Diplomatique from the house of Jovoy. Go catch that video with Marcelo. I think you'll learn a lot in that video. But let's move on to JUS next. JUS, this is Icy Fizz. This is another fougere, and it's an icy fougere with tea. I think it has Longjing tea in here. That's one of the notes. So lots of lavender-like notes. It's very aromatic. It's spicy, but also super ice cold. So tea, icy, kind of minty, lavender note. So it's very aromatic and spicy, but has that cooling effect. It's a nice gentlemanly offering. Probably one of the best from the house, I think. Really smells like modern, but classic at the same time, especially with the aromatic notes like the mint and lavender. And, you've got the tea. I think the tea is what makes this fragrance feel a bit more modern against all the aromatic and spicy notes. It's a quality offering for sure. So that is JUS Icy Fizz. And then speaking of tea, not yet. So I'm throwing this one in here. I think it's a offering that's great for a father, and it is patchouli. It's my collaboration with Juicebox. It's 54. I really love wearing this. It's also very long lasting. It is patchouli with vanilla. There's chocolate. There's spices. There's rum, pina colada, chocolate, sandalwood, tobacco. It's so good. It's classy. It's gentlemanly. It does dry down to become kind of chocolatey and chocolate milky on skin. Super awesome scent. Such a great fragrance it turned out to be. And knowing what Julien Rasquinet creates, we were able to work on something that is not typically associated with his style, which is what I really like about this fragrance. I love it. It is chocolatey though. It's kind of gourmand with a lot of earthy patchouli. So it's a nice combo of the two styles of fragrances. So that's 54 from the house of Juicebox. Please try that if you haven't yet. It's an awesome scent. Now we can go back to another tea-focused fragrance. We're talking about Lalique next. This is Encre Indigo. So a new start for a series. I'm hoping that they're going to make multiple versions of this because they did 3 versions of the Encre Noir. I think they also had the Pour Louis, which was... Wait, was that Pour Louis? Pour Elle. They had the Pour Elle, which was the ladies' version of Encre Noir, which I never bought. But I'm hoping that they will make a big collection out of the Encre Indigo. And once again, they're sticking with vetiver, but they've added tea in the mix. And we've got a little smokiness from the vetiver and also a little smokiness from the tea. But you know how tea has that kind of smooth coziness about it? Smoothness. It kind of has this like calming feeling takes you over with the smell. I don't know if that ever happens to you with fragrances. It does with me. But tea always does that. It's got this smooth, almost like creamy, but it's not quite cream. It's just a very smooth liquid. And to me, against the smokiness of the vetiver, it's a nice contrast with its sweetness and softness. I don't know how this did. What do you guys think? Are you a fan of Ancre Indigo? It took a while for it to go down in at the discounters, but it is finally there. You can get it for around 30 bucks. I recommend it. And I think it would make a great gift for a dad if you don't spend a lot of money for fragrances. $30, $40, maybe $50. It's a great price for a classy fragrance. It's also eau de parfum and created by Annick Minardo. So you have a lot of great things going for it. All right, let's move on to the house of Le Labo next. It's a Lavande 31. A great gentlemanly offering. It's a unisex offering, but it's a fougere. Very modern fougere, actually. I like the way it smells. My only complaint is it's kind of a wimp. It's very aromatic, lots of lavender, but it doesn't smell like your traditional grandmother's lavender, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I absolutely love the way lavender smells. Love it. There's reminders of it in there, but it's not like the lavender you remember. So it's super modernized. It also has the Le Labo DNA in there. So it's kind of spicy, it's kind of aromatic. There's a bit of musk in there, woods, but it's really classy. It comes off soapy too a little bit. Because the lavender kind of, to me, has a soapiness. I love that. I just wish it was stronger. Le Labo fragrances are kind of wimpy, I think. Sadly, they're wimpy. And the city exclusives, they make such a big deal on those because, you know, they're city exclusives. You can pay double the price for them, and you get the same concentration. You don't even get extract. You just get the same concentration, but they're associated with cities. That's why they're double the price. Not quite double the price, but they're quite expensive. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love some of those city exclusives, but they should do something better about them and give you something a little bit more concentrated for something that you have to pay almost double the price of a regular fragrance from the line. And, you know, they're already pretty expensive now anyway. But Le Labo is very popular. I think one of the brands from Le Labo, one of the brands from Estée Lauder that's not doing well, I think is Frederic Malle. Le Labo, I think, is doing really great because they constantly keep opening stores, Le Labo stores. So it's got a huge following, I think. But for a frag head, there's a lot of negatives with Le Labo, I think. What do you guys think? Let me know. Add a comment below. Let's move on to Les Eaux Primordiales. That's falling down. Another kind of classy masculine take on vanilla. This is Vanille Supermassive in Extrait de Parfum concentration. Really awesome scent, I think. It's a totally different type of vanilla. It's not gooey, gourmandy. It's aromatic, spicy, dry and woody, musky. I mean, there's caramel listed as a note, but you're not wearing a caramel fragrance. It's just to accentuate the fragrance from all the dryness and the dry notes in there. It's so good. This one even has, I think, either like pine or fir. It's so good. Really, really wonderful. It's a very sexy smell. I discovered the fragrance on my trip to London when this had just debuted there as an exclusive offering. I fell in love with it right on the spot. It's the DNA also from the house I really enjoy. So everything about it is just great. I actually enjoy that fragrance more than their Amber, which is their most popular. And again, it's a vanilla that's not gourmand. It's just very spicy, woody, dry, musky. So good. And I think it makes a great gift for a father. So that's Vanille Supermassive from the house of Les Eaux Primordiales. Next up, we're going to the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is Gentle Fluidity Silver. Yes, one fragrance that I couldn't stand when it first came out. It hurt my nose. Has that ever happened to you guys? Do fragrances ever hurt your nose? Let me know. So This is juniper, by the way. It's so crisp. Juniper has that icy cold, crisp metallic effect. And this is like a sharp knife to your nose. But I remember when this first came out, it was 2019. I discovered it early 2019 when they had just put it out. I was in Paris at the Printemps boutique, and I got samples from there. I didn't even get the bottles. But I think seasonally, I think this fragrance smells better in the heat because it opens up this. It's almost like, since it is coming off icy, it's almost like that ice kind of melt, and there's something that it reveals under it that's not super ice cold and sharp. So it needs that, and I never gave it a chance because it was so sharp to my nose. I pushed it away. I smelled it on some people, and I was like, damn, that smells so good on you. So I had to go back to it and train my nose to appreciate it. Right now, it's super sharp. I'm smelling it. It's kind of cool in here because it's always air conditioned. But on skin, on a hot skin, in the hot day, humid day, the fragrance just opens up. It becomes super sexy. But it's very metallic and sharp and ice cold, as I said. Lots of aromatics. The juniper is king here. And definitely super gentlemanly. Gentle fluidity for gentlemanly fragrance. All right, so that is Maison Francis Christian Gentle Fluidity Silver. I'm throwing in something a bit daring. This is B683 in the Extrait de Parfum concentration. Yeah, this goes animalic. This is really super beast mode. A little goes a long way. So it's taking the original B683 into an oudy direction. It's got the signature of, Canton Biche, Marc-Antoine Barbois fragrances, ozonic violet, his minerally touches, the spices, but it's a very addicting smell. On skin also, for me, goes into cumin direction, and the funk takes over the animalic parts. But I love it. I think it's my second favorite Marc-Antoine Barbois. I would classify the original Ganymede and the Extrait as one because they're very similar to me. And then I would put this at number 2 over the original of this. I think those are my 2 favorites from the house. I'm not a big fan of the others as much. Tilia might be a close behind the B683. Recently, Encelade has gone so marine on me. I don't know what the heck it is. I just want to wash it off. And then the Aldebaran, weird. Anyway, let's move on to the house of Mise en Cire. It's Blue Gin. Oh, speaking of juniper, this is also a juniper bomb. Then the idea is called Blue Gin. I think what they were doing is trying to create a blue fragrance with the notes of juniper. It's very metallic. It's very ice cold, once again. Super clean. But really, really quality. I kind of prefer the MFK a little more. This one also, if I'm talking about gin, I do drink quite a bit of martinis. Not a lot, but I like it sometimes. This kind of smells like a martini, frosty cold, with a little bit of that olive juice in it. That, like, something in it is giving me that kind of like a olivey kind of briny something that's mixed in. I wonder if that was intentional. It is called Blue Gin, so I'm assuming maybe that's what they were going after. But it does have that kind of briny olive juice kind of thing in it. Do you guys get that? That's Blue Gin. And this is an awesome discovery. I first smelled this at Printemps at the Mise en Cire section of their store. I instantly loved it, and I finally had found it online at the discounter, which I featured this quite a few times in my deals videos. You have to get a bottle of this. It's so good. Really, really awesome. This is Legend Leather from Mise en Cire. It's leathery, but it's also musky, like ambroxany kind of combo of leather that's not dense and heavy. because ambroxan has this kind of airiness about it. And so the leather together with the airiness of the ambroxan, together it makes for a very sexy offering, I think. It's great. It's a great scent. I love this one. I mean, for me, my favorite from the house is For Your Love. I didn't want to feature that one here. I was going for something a bit more masculine. Not that I don't consider For Your Love. I think it's very unisex. But I think these two are quite masculine. And you've got to get your nose on Legend Leather. I love the name too. It smells super fantastic. It smells great in the heat too. So try that one. That is Legend Leather from the house of Mise en Cire. Let me know if you're familiar with Mise en Cire. Let's move on to the house of Mont Blanc. Got the wrong fragrance here. All right, let's move on to the house of Mont Blanc with Patchouli Ink. Does anybody get a similarity between Patchouli from Le Labo with this one? Does it remind you a little bit? This is patchouli, but kind of a dark, smoky patchouli. Yeah. There's almost like a charred, smoky quality against that super sexiness that I find about the patchouli. But it's different, but it does remind me of the Le Labo, which is super expensive. Not identical. I think this is more patchouli than the Le Labo. Le Labo's patchouli, to me, is not a patchouli. It's almost like more birch. But this is giving me the same kind of vibes as that fragrance, but with the patchouli note actually amplified. I find it very sexy, by the way. Smokiness, earthiness, woodiness all rolled into one. It's quite good. Really, really great. Also really inexpensive. You can probably get one. It's a 120 ml bottle. Is it 120 ml? What? 125. 125 ml. It says 41 fluid ounce. Anyway, I've never seen 41, but it does say 125 ml on the side. So yeah, it's a great deal for 125 ml of juice. Get it if you like a dark, smoky patchouli. That's not super out there also, by the way. All right, so that's Patchouli Ink from the house of Mont Blanc. Next, we're going to the house of Nichane. It's Ege. This is another fragrance that I didn't care for at first. I don't know what it was about this fragrance, but it reminded me way too much of the sea. This is minty. It's quite aromatic. It's also cucumbery. So I think it has the notes of violet leaves in here or ozonic notes. It's very fresh. It's got an ice cold effect happening. It's just a really awesome take on a summer freshie that's not your typical citrus freshie. I can almost feel like you can add some yogurt to this because it kind of smells like what goes inside a tzatziki. So the minty side of things rather than the yogurt part. So it smells good that way. It's very fresh, but also, like I said, it has that icy cold effect. Great scent. And again, for me, it took a while to get this one to embrace it, but I'm all over this one right now. So it's Ege from the house of Nichane. Super awesome scent. Then we're going to the house of Nichane once again, and we've got to have Hachivad here. Hachivad is, I think it's a fragrance that people think is inspired by Aventus. But to me, this is, I prefer this DNA more. There's a kind of a screechy quality about it. Really intense, fresh, earthy. Like there's mossy notes, there's patchouli, there's grapefruit, there's the pineapple, of course. But it like if we want to compare this to the Juventus, if we want to compare it to the CEDRE Boisé has that pulpiness. This is not pulpy. I mean, it's just really robust and intense, really ice cold effect, and perfect in the heat. This smells so good in the heat. It's awesome. And you can also use this to layer with the, what's the fragrance? Is it 100 Silent Waves from Nishane? And to me, it creates an amazing, intoxicating fragrance. But on its own, it's great. It's perfect fragrance to wear in the heat. So that is Hachivat from Nishane. Check that out if you don't know it. Up next, going to the house of Parfum d'Empire. We're going to talk about a new fragrance here. It's Fougère Bengal. You guys familiar with Fougère Bengal? I'm a big fan of fougères, and I felt like we needed to have a few fougères in the mix here. And this is a brand new one. It's not newly launched, it's just new in my collection. To me, it's taking fragrance like Sable from the house of Annick Goutal, or L'Eau d'Immortelle from the house of Voyage d'Imaginaire, and converting into a fougère. So it has a lot of Immortelle in here. Very unique note. So I like that against the aromatic notes of, the lavender and things like that. So the Immortelle creates a little bit of a syrupy, kind of a curry effect. I mean, it's also known as a curry plant. Very interesting. That's why it's called Fougère Bengal. I mean, kind of green leaning, but the juice color is so nice and dark. Who's tried this one? Who's a fan of Parfum d'Empire? Let me know. Add a comment below. All right. Next, going to the house of Dusita, Parfums Dusita. This is Moonlight in Chiang Mai. Did you guys get your mystery boxes yet? This was in the mystery box, guys. This has become a favorite fragrance of mine from this house. It launched in 2020. I find it to be very fresh, very woody, very spicy, and also citrusy. It has yuzu in the notes. But once again, super unique smell. It's almost like there's lots of musk in here, but I think they have a note called teak wood. Creates this very interesting consistency and acts like musk or ambroxan or something. But, oh man, it's good. If you guys didn't get your mystery box, it's a bummer. We had 14 samples in there, and this was one of them. I know this is an older fragrance, but it's definitely time to rediscover this one if you haven't tried it yet, because it's really, really great. So that, I mean, it's also kind of masculine leaning. That's why I'm featuring it here. Anyway, that's Moonlight in Chiang Mai from the house of Parfums Dusita. Please check it out. It's a great scent. I need to get a new bottle of Greenlee from Marley. It's a freshie. It's very juicy, drippy apples. Also a bit musky. I think it has the Cashmeran note. Makes me happy. It's a very happy smell. I mean, fruity notes are kind of fun and playful. I think that's kind of why they make you happy. But what I like about this is the fact that it's so robust with its juiciness. So good. Yeah, you can totally bathe with this one in the summertime. It's also not super light, so it wears pretty beefy. So good. Love that smell. I like it because, I mean, apple-y scents sometimes tend to go, I don't know, too fruity. This doesn't go too young. That's what I was trying to say. All right, so that is Parfums de Marly's Greenlee. We've got a designer offering here next. We're going to the house of Ralph Lauren. This is Lauren. This is Polo Oud. Polo Oud is so good. So it has light traces of the original Polo in here, but it's a fairly new fragrance. You have rose in here, but the oud accord that they've used in here covers it up quite a bit. There's a little bit of a piney effect. There's a lot of spices. It's classy, it's gentlemanly, masculine leaning for sure. And it's a very modern take on Polo with the idea of oud. It's quite good, actually. This is a great designer offering. No, it won't smell like the original Polo, but you have like light traces of it in there. If you're looking for a designer oud, definitely search for this one. It's that good. Polo Oud. So good. All right, next, going to the house of Rosendo Matu. It's number 5. Yeah, I'm featuring it. Although this is the elixir. Sorry, guys. I meant to grab the original. What is this all about? Well, it's spices, it's vanilla, it's smoky touches, it's amber, very classy, it's leather, very classy, masculine take on vanilla once again. The vanilla in this is good, but it's not about vanilla. It's smoky, it's spicy, it's peppery, it's leathery, it's super awesome. Yeah, this is the elixir, so it's highly concentrated, but it totally reminds me of the original. I mean, if you can find the elixir, find it and get it because it's good. But I think the original is still quite good. And also people say it reminds them of Baby Cat or Vanagloria. I could see that. This number 5 came way before Baby Cat or Vanagloria. So anyway, it's a great scent. I think it makes a great gift for a father or a dad. Or if you're the dad, look for number 5. Again, I didn't mention earlier, I have everything timestamp tagged. So if you're in the market for any of these fragrances, you can buy them. So anyway, that is number 5. Rosendo Matu number 5. Yes, I'm showing you the elixir version. The original, I think you can find for about $120. So totally worth it if you're looking for something spicy, vanillic, peppery, incensey, leathery. So good. Anyway, next up, going to the house of Sospiro. It's Vibrato. Yeah, this is the only thing that comes close to Tigar. We spoke about Goldfield and Banks' Ingenious Ginger, but I feel like that's so different than Tigar. Here, with Vibrato, it's kind of similar. Also, this is part of our Scent Club kit number 16, and one of the other fragrances in that kit is here as well. It's a Dodo. We'll talk about it. Dodo, the jackfruit edition, which is so good. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Vibrato is a very zingy, spicy take on grapefruit. I feel like there's ginger in here. There's spices. It's fresh. It's woody. It's earthy. And also very strong. So Sospiro fragrances are made very robust, very intense. It's kind of what I like about them. And here we've got that. It smells amazing. In the heat, it even shines. This might be my second favorite Sospiro fragrance. That's how much I love about it. So that is Sospiro Vibrato. So I want to do a quick segue here. Somebody had sent me an email the other day. I'm sorry, I don't have time to reply. And now that I'm talking about Sospiro, I can answer it if you're watching. I think you had messaged me asking to buy a bottle of Dolce Melodia off of me, the one that is in the white bottle with the purple accents on it. I'm sorry to say, I do not sell any of my collection. I keep everything. So this is for everybody to know. If you see it, like I'm also getting a message from somebody that wants to buy a Clive Christian bottle off of me. I'm not selling any of my fragrances, guys. So please don't contact me to buy fragrances from me. I'm not selling anything. So yeah, if you were wanting that Sospiro Dolce Melodia in the original white bottle and the purple accents on it, I'm not selling it. I bought it specifically to do a video comparison of that version of Dolce Melodia and the version that came out later in the orange bottle. And I'm keeping both. So I'm sorry, I'm not selling. All right, let's move on to Thomas DeMonico next. We've got Raw Gold. By the way, Thomas DeMonico will be at our show. If you ever wanted to meet Thomas DeMonico, come to Scentfest SF. He'll be at the show and he'll be showcasing all of his fragrances at Scentfest SF. But what's so good about this? It's honeyed, it's boozy, it's vanillic, it's patchouli. Very intoxicating smell. So good. Very addicting smell. Very addicting. Yes, the original is different. In fact, I did a video with Thomas DeMonico talking about the original that was launched before this version. The original had, I mean, it's interesting how I get comments and it, like, tastes are so all over the place. I get comments, oh, for the original, it's too animalic. I wish it wasn't. And then now that this version's out, oh, it's not the same. It used to be more animalic and now it's gotten a little bit more easygoing or something. So it's interesting how you can't please everybody. I like both. I lightly prefer the original more. I wore so much of it, but this does remind me of the original for sure. Anyway, Raw Gold. It's a great scent. My former barber used to wear this one too. He's gone through so many bottles. So that is Raw Gold from the house of Thomas DeMonico. All right, next we're going to the house of Tom Ford. It's Beau de Jour. Yeah, it's another fougere from a designer. Very masculine, classy. A who's who of different varieties of lavender in this. There's, oh wow, it's good. So I did some videos in Provence last summer, and those videos were at the lavender fields, and I shot a video with a farmer, not a farmer, but a woman that runs a company that deals with lavender farmers. And we went over all the different varieties of lavender. There's lavandin, there's lavender, multiple varieties of lavender, then also all the other herbs like clary sage and helichrysum. And this is, to me, it smells like all of those aromatic notes combined together. It's so herbal and green. It's almost like you're smelling the floral part of the lavender or lavandin, plus the stems, because there's a lot of greenness in this. It's quite good. I love the smell of aromatics and herbs and spices. And this is an aromatic spice bomb. So that's Beau de Jour by Tom Ford. Have you tried it yet? So there was a rumor that this was getting discontinued. That never happened, right? It's funny though, also with Dior, their rumor was Vanilla Diorama and Tabac Color were going to be discontinued. It hasn't happened yet, but I can see that the fragrances, well, actually, no. At Neiman Marcus here, they did say they don't have Vanilla Diorama anymore. I don't know if they brought it back since then, but that happened with Fab Delicious also. The rumor was for about 2 years it was going to get discontinued, and finally got discontinued. So I have a feeling some of these rumors are true. They're going to come true. So if you're in the market for any of these fragrances that there's a rumor about it being axed or discontinued, get yourself a backup bottle if you love it that much. Otherwise, you're never going to have it because it's not going to be easy to get anymore. All right, we've got one more Tom Ford. We're going to Ombre Leather. So whereas the Beau de Jour is it's a male-targeted offering, Ombre Leather is a unisex offering. Ombre Leather started out as a private blend, launched as a limited edition private blend. I wish I had my bottle. I ran out of it. That would have been a collector's item now in the private blend. And then it was released as a signature line, and I think it's been a very successful fragrance for them as a signature line fragrance. Because a lot of people want to get Tuscan leather. This does remind me of Tuscan leather a little bit, but they can't afford it. But they can afford this one because it's less expensive, although it is very pricey. But it's a leather, it's a bit fruity, it's very easy to wear. It's compared to the leathers like back in the early 80s, like Antaeus, it's not a leather like that at all. This is easier to wear. It's a bit more fabricy smelling leather. I feel like saffron is a lot of saffron in this. It's good. It's a good scent. That's why it's popular. And it's got a classy, sexy bottle as well. Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. All right, we are going to the house. Oh, we are going to the house of 2 next. All right, we are going to the house of 2, or the house of Oud, with Emerald Green. So I actually put down Royal Stone, I think. Royal Stone was a Harrods exclusive, but I think Emerald Green is identical, almost identical, if not fully identical. So this is kind of a fresh citrusy amber offering. This to me also has light touches of something like Tigar, but goes a little smoky with the amber green note that's in here. So it's interesting. It's got this freshness. It also has a light kind of reminder of something like Aventus as well. So it's kind of got this very interesting thing happening where you have all this freshness, but it has a deeper, darker side as well. Maybe slightly animalic leaning as well. So the fragrance settles to something deeper and darker, but it's very fresh up top. It smells really wonderful, by the way. The fact that it reminds me of Aventus, or not so much Aventus or Hachivat, more Cedre Boisé. I think it's because there's a slight pulpy quality in here. Like the juiciness of the citrus has got a very pulpiness. But it smells great, and I love the color of the bottle. Look at that. Beautiful. So that is Emerald Green from the house of 2. Next, we're going to the house of Xerjoff. We've got Naxos. Who's a fan of Naxos? Naxos is probably one of the more popular offerings from this house. It was the second Xerjoff fragrance I ever bought. If you count Casamorati as Xerjoff, which it is a Xerjoff, because I bought Lyra and then I bought Naxos. It's a fougere style fragrance, but ambery and tobacco-ish as well. So we've got tonka, lavender, we've got honey, tobacco. Very popular. In fact, I've had so many sniff sessions here, and whenever somebody wants to smell Xerjoff, they'll instantly ask for a smell of Naxos. It's a good one. It does remind me of the discontinued Pure Havane, but the Pure Havane didn't have the lavender, which this does. That's what makes it different. So that is Naxos from the house of Xerjoff. We also have Torino 21. Perfect summer fragrance. It's a great summer offering. It is summer right now. Is it summer yet? Almost. Like a few days away. This is like aromatics and citruses. Super juicy, pulpy citruses with an overdose of minty kind of aromatic notes. Basil. But just imagine lemon mint tea. Or like an iced lemon mint tea. Tart, sweet, juicy, fruity. Not so much fruity, like just more citrus fruity. But very fresh. And also kind of long lasting as well. For a citrusy offering. A fresh offering. And that's actually the more popular of, I think it's the biggest seller of the Torinos. And last year's Torino 25, was the last, or is the last. But I think the 21 is the one that's going to be the most successful. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Last but not least, until we have the bonus section, because I do have bonus offerings this time around. Last but not least, it's Dodo. Yeah, this is also a really great classy fragrance for a dad. I was so pleasantly surprised with this one. I was like, the original, I don't care for. It's so sweaty, but this is a fougere. It's a green, fruity fougere. And the fruitiness is not young. It's not fake fruity. It's just a nice contrast to all the aromatic notes. The aromatic and spicy notes in here. It smells like, I mean, you can, it reminds you of like Beau de Jour. It reminds you of Fougere Royale. But then you got the green fruity notes in here. So it's a very modern take on fougere, which smells amazing. I really love it. So this is Dodo Jackfruit Edition. And it's in one of our kits right now. And I think I said, yeah, it's with Sospiro's Vibrato. It's in a number 16. Kit number 16. It also has the Memoir, what's it called? Murmure d'été from the House of Plume Impression. So 3 green fragrances in the kit. But it's a solid offering. One of the best zoologist perfumes. I mean, B is my favorite. This is definitely a top 5. I love it that much. You guys love it too? Let me know. Add a comment below. That is Dodo Jackfruit Edition. And that is the last fragrance for this 50... Well, I think we have 51, right? Did you guys count? We have 51 fragrances for Dad. Or Father's Day fragrances. Let me know your thoughts on these fragrances. Do you own any of them? Are you giving any of these to your dad? Are you a dad? Would you buy any of these for yourself? Add a comment below. It is Father's Day tomorrow, so if you're a dad or if you have a dad, happy Father's Day to them. And last but not least, guys, don't forget Scentfest SF. It's coming around the corner, and we expect to sell out. So please get your tickets or passes. We're almost at capacity, and it's going to be an amazing show. Lots of awesome experiences. Please come, participate, smell fragrances, meet people in the fragrance community, and have a great time. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please interact with the video so it helps with the algorithm. Like, comment, share, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you'll be reminded for the next video. I'll be back soon. Bye. All right, we've got 3 bonus offerings that I couldn't fit in the video, even though I had 51 in the main list. I'm going to start first with this fragrance from the house of Maison Detto called Rotano. So this is super sexy animalic leather fragrance. But what in the world is behind the leather? My God, it smells so good on me. But the animalic smell is sort of inky and dark, a little smoky. Oh man, it's good. It's so good. So this is for a dad that likes something a bit more daring, because this is quite daring. On skin even more. It literally smells like an animal. Very musky, dark, a little smoky, but something behind or past. Once you smell the animal, you get past it. What is that smell? Oh man, it's good. Really super good. I think it's not for, it's, you know, if you're a lightweight when it comes to fragrances, you don't care for animalics, I would say stay away from this one. But to me, I think it's great. And on skin, it even smells better. So, so good. All right. That is Maison Detto's Rotano. Do you guys know this one? Do you guys know the house? Let me know. Add a comment below. I'm going to throw this one in here as well. Not so animalic. It's another leather. This is Cuir Infrarouge from the house of Maison Crivelli. 2 Maisons back to back. Who's a fan of this one? This to me is a very Middle Eastern style leather with some light fruity nuances. This is Jordi Fernandez, right? Is it? Or is it Canton Biche? Either way, it smells like... It also smells like it could be from Julien Rasconet, but I don't think he's ever done a fragrance for Maison Crivelli. But it's very Middle Eastern, very leathery, very amber, woody, slightly fruity. Good fragrance. Masculine, for sure. So that's Cuir Infrarouge. Last but not least, third bonus option from the house of Nikolai Perfumer Creator. This is Crème Ebène. So this is also part of our mystery box. If you didn't get the mystery box, you missed out, because this and Dusita's Moonlight and Chiang Mai were both in the mystery box, along with 12 other fragrances. And this is it's a woody fragrance that goes leathery. So I'm putting it here. It's kind of like a very creamy wood, spicy, but develops into something soft and suede leather-like. So it kind of has a very cozy experience. If you like leather, but you like it more woody than leather, but you want some leather and you don't want it to be animalic, this would be appropriate for you. It's a good one from the house. It's also very cozy. I think the suede leather kind of has a slight sweetness. So if you're a leather fan, try these 3 leather fragrances. I think leather fragrances are masculine. That's why I'm featuring it here as bonus options. I couldn't fit them in the actual main video, but I wanted to highlight these fragrances. This Rotano is a new discovery, and I absolutely love it. But again, it's kind of animalic, so it's not for the faint of heart. So if you don't like animalic fragrances, stay away. Excuse me, stay away from that one, because if you do like it, I highly recommend it. It's not like Salome from the House of Papillon Perfumery, but it's not simple and easy to wear. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. See you later. Bye-bye.